As spiritual, we're completely self-contained. We have a great comport with our friends and neighbors in any circumstance, any situation we're ready for, because deep in our chest cavity there's a calm, a quiet, a mystical relationship to that which is called God, eternity. There's a quietude, simplicity, and awareness, and a knowing always, 24 hours a day. As human beings, we're quite spiritual. At the same time, our need is to communicate this red-hot faith we have in eternity with our fellows. In other words, we're always positive. We're always there. We're always healing, and kind, and true. We're ready for anything on any different level. So it isn't that we sit back trying to be quiet to become enlightened. You're already there. Whatever that there is spiritually, you have a pure friendship with eternity. It's ironclad, it's delicate as the end of a rainbow, and much more beautiful. As normal human beings touch us when we fall in love, have a child, there's that mystical import of something so wonderful that it's beyond dreams. It envelops all of our senses and soul, but then we're knocked right back into the mix the next minute by some necessity, a door slamming, car brakes, whatever. The point is that when truly mystical, the car brakes or the door slamming, we understand it. No matter what happens, it's either God or the devil. And the devil's nothing to us, it's our need to communicate this to the lesser stream, those that are lost in the little riverbeds and the creeks and the streams of hell, which is what this world is. We are an ocean of presence. I'm getting a little elaborate here without going too far away from it. Making the point clear is we'll say in the world today, it's obvious that it's at the most inopportune time, the most obviously moment of great crisis throughout the world. And yet all spiritual people know it, but we're not concerned about that. We're concerned about alleviating the pain and trauma of all of our friends and neighbors and loved ones and family, of believing that the world has power over you. No matter what the conditions are, you're ready, you're there. And your only need and desire is to communicate this. It's not such a lofty reality. It's beyond anything. It's a simplicity of knowing that spirituality is everything. There is nothing else. There is a God. There is eternity. There is a divine providence is what I'm attempting to communicate. There is a goodwill out moment for us when we come to a true human spiritual friendship with eternity, with God. And in and of that, you will be given great powers. You'll have gifts, so many, to help your friends and loved ones and neighbors. Your sensibilities, your sensitivities are so exquisite. They cannot be dreamt. I feel them now, every moment, every second, and I adjust them to the person I'm with, the circumstance, to help bring whatever that circumstance is, or that person, to a higher sense of positivity about life, of knowing that what seems to be is not real. It's that simple. Your spiritual senses are so subtle, senses are so subtle that you're in communion with that which has always been called God, which is an infinite divine presence. It's more pure than a baby's touch and kinder than a dream, and always present. And God is God. And the difficulty people have in communing with God is that God is unimaginable selflessness, kindness, humility beyond no mathematician could extrapolate it out to the fine point. It's endless. So when you find God, you'll be just simply being you, an off-guard moment. And that's God. You are that. And if you come to that today, tonight, tomorrow, or have lived that, or known that throughout your life, then there are no questions. Life is a beautiful dream, a wonder and a joy forever. And the circumstance of the world is not relevant. You understand? And I'm saying at an obvious endpoint in human socio-political climate, things are about to explode or have been, and I've mentioned it weeks ago when that talked about wars and rumors of wars, and sure enough, the next week it came upon us, as any intelligent person would be aware of, that it was right at the door. And so now is the time to buttress up your everything and just be here. And know that everything coming at you is of the dark side, but you have these unimaginable sensitivities toward God, toward a higher reality, that you know you can surround all your loved ones in it and they'll be safe, no matter what. Flood or fire, you can protect those you love through this wisdom, this understanding, this kindness. All spiritual people have known that there is an endless purity and beauty that's streaming forth from you to me, to God, to heaven, to the angels, to your loved ones. It's forever. It's always here. It's a presence. The presence is your body. This is not you. This is not. So when you're mystical, you understand these words. It doesn't matter about life or death, solvency or insolvency. There's a positivity about faith, spiritual faith. But it's a spiritual, I say spiritual because it's not a religious, like one day God will, you're in touch with God in an unimaginably subtle way all the time. I say subtle, it's not subtle if you're there. It just is. It's who you are, it's what you are. It's like Shakespeare said, what fools these mortals be. You don't need anything to protect you. You've transcended the base material reality. It's all in consciousness, in kindness and love and care. And you'll have a healing agency where you can protect those you love and those you need to love. In other words, those who are very, very fine. I know some very, very fine people, but they have a socio-political point of view about the world that is really off and makes them choose sides. And there are no sides, there's God. There are no issues, there's God. There's neither death nor life. In the body, it's always transcendent. Read the great works of Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman and 10,000 other writers who write about love, God love, spirituality, mysticism. Evelyn Underhill was a great one about 100 years ago about mysticism. Everything you are inside bespeaks a time to come in the very near future when all this that appears to be so dangerous won't be anymore. It's no more than eating a candy bar just before you go to sleep and you have strange dreams. The whole world, all of its history, all the sciences, all the relationships go up in a puff as soon as you see God. As soon as you remember, as soon as you're aware that you're that, not this, there's nothing wrong with you. There are no problems, there are no issues. There's only Godness, there's only you. You understand? The purity of you. And the world will give you exactly nothing. It will just keep you at bay, reaching for this, reaching for that. And like Emerson said, Emerson of Thoreau said that all men, he was a very, very completely mystical presence. He said that all men lead lives of quiet desperation. All men, all people live lives of quiet desperation. You know what that is. But him being a mystic, he was saying that the mystic, you are not desperate. You're clear, you're true, you're here, and you're always, like I say in the beginning word, comport. You're ready. I have many, many gifts, so I can listen to people, I can be with people, I can handle circumstances, situations, and I'll change according to that, because inside there's a core of a very humble little child before God. And you have to build all these defenses around you and develop them over 10, 20, 40 years. It's horrible that you have to, but you have to. Because you realize with your early awakenings of this endless, infinite purity that we called God being your best friend and being with you and you being part of that and being that, then your only goal, your only desire, your only need, your only vocation, your only profession, your reason to be is to help others along the path. Because there is a path. And it's wider than the sky, and it's called God, it's called your heart. There's nothing more basic, more powerful than the human heart. Just let it open. And God will fill in the floodgates with an ocean of presence. Your body is an ocean of presence, and that's all religion reaches for, that's all mysticism is, that's all spirituality is. And there are so many different ways of achieving this, of wanting this, of desiring, but all of it, throw the books away. The mountains aren't there. I talked one time with my friends in Tibet, they go up to this mountain, and so I saw it from northern Nepal, and it was a holy mountain, and they wouldn't go to climb. They never thought of climbing the mountain. They'd look at the mountain, and it's something inside themselves. You understand that this world is something inside our true spiritual psyche that we're trying to fix. Not that it's in our head, it's in our presence. And we fix it. We take it on for the lesser stream of beingness, for people that are lost, that have possessions, that have sub-personalities. We can have a great mama or dad, and they have a certain part of me go like, where'd that come from, mom or dad? And it's or anyone, I'm simply making an example. You never know who's been beaten this way or that way as a young person or 3 incarnations back, and it doesn't matter. But when you get really quiet, you can fix almost everyone around you. And the one you can't fix is okay. They're not real. So if you can grasp this higher reality, you can grasp that certain people are not there. And if you know that, then they don't hurt you. And they're normally very vile, or in a subtle way, or a violent way, it doesn't matter. They're not there. And if you can know that truly, there's a word called quietude, where you're just there. If you don't react to them. And don't react, you're in a deep emotion. It's not nothing, it's you have a purity, a friendship with eternity that is a soft, gentle emotion. It's always there. It's called enlightenment, illumination, the beatific vision, the vision of God. an openness to a higher reality. I'm saying that in terms of trying to bring all of our mindset to a higher place, but all of us who are aware of God know that that's not even necessary to say. It's just like Evelyn Underhill would say, it's that iron, that flaming iron, powerful emotion of mysticism. God is very, 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 very real. Very, 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 very real. And when you know that, the simplicity of it all will carry you through to the end. So it's not like we're going to be a resistance army behind it all, like a gentleman I know anyway, I won't go into it. We will carry our friends and loved ones through this madness by knowing that it has no power. It's just it's an apparition. Kabuki theater, all that's happening in the world. When you're very quiet, you walk through this. You have in your chest cavity a magnificent awareness and depth, and no matter what happens, you can contain it. No matter what's going on around you, you can handle the subtleties and evil of the near future and carry through to the end time. And if you're there now, it's already done. This world is something that happens within you because you take it on, you surround it with your presence. You can see it's difficult to find the right words, but it's really not so bad. When you're very quiet and powerful inside, you can end the madness of the world for all your friends and loved ones. You want your children safe. You want your mother safe. And this is how you do it. In life or death, in other words, when people die, they didn't die. No one ever died. That can't happen. It's impossible. That being said, it explains the fact of the material reality that it's simply someone ate a chocolate bar just before going to sleep, and this is a bad dream. If you're spiritual, and you know that, and you're here like a volunteer army, you're here, you did nothing wrong to be here. All of us who are spiritual are here for a reason. We know of the madness, and we dropped in to that aperture called birth to be like our friends and fellows, our loved ones, and and help spread our healing powers to the madness. And this is what will save the world. Mysticism, something lighter than air. It's actually lighter and more pure than love. There's an equanimity with it. There's a positivity with it. And through it, you're aware of the endlessness of eternity, that God is, that you are a presence, not a person. We'll still pray, we'll still hope, we'll still dream, but it's already done within us. And we're moving in and out of the relationships we have with people around us to find the right way to get to the right people in time. And all the time is the outlaw of the universe of good. There is no time sense in spirituality. You're always here. That's why I know that all my friends and loved ones, my family, the beautiful people I know they're safe in me. No one's going to touch them. Not going to happen. So if you're spiritual, you have a friend like this in your heart. That friend is your heart, is your soul, is that which has been called God, which is an endless purity, simplicity, kindness, and humanness. that the universe is. It's a human being, a human presence. It's you and it's God and it's all of us together. It's endlessly more warm and decent and kind and true, and yet there are I don't have a better word than infinite. It's an infinite. I've experienced this all my life. Never don't. It's just there. Under the worst circumstances. Doesn't mean I'm happy or I'm not in pain. Sometimes really frightened. I've been in every circumstance you've been in. And I'm simply saying, carry the ones you love on your shoulders with your arms forward at this rather interesting time. Fear nothing, fear no man, no circumstance. Let God be your breath, your mindset, your carriage. You will carry your friends and loved ones out of the fire into the true light that gives light. That light is your heart. There's nothing wrong with you. Anything you need or want or desire to carry you through this time, well, it is you. And figuring that out will be the last stage of your illumination. We're one person, we're one presence. There's one God. So if you're very quiet and give nothing, you'll see him, the only God, and you, his very best friend. You and God are the friend that the world needs right now to walk the decent out of the fires of disbelief and faithlessness. You are a good person, a remarkable soul, a very kind friend and true. And that's all you'll need. Nothing more. It's called spiritual faith. Most of all, it's called you. Isn't it you? You'll never accept this because of humility, but aren't you wonderful? Understand your desire, your heart to care, to love, to fix everything. And I'm saying we don't have to be so driven with it when on a very deep level we're at one with this desire to heal, to cleanse, to fix, to protect, and to overcome the dark force that owns this world, that this world is. We understand that it's in a projected circumstance, that it's not really real. It's from some fear-based speck of nothingness in hell. The world is a hell. If you're mystical, if you're spiritual, which we're talking about in this hour, it's half hour, is that you understand that. That's what gives you the faith to lift your friends and loved ones. Lift your friends and loved ones, and God will lift you. We will be there. There is a God. God is your friend. Be a friend to all those that are decent and upright. Take care of your mom, your dad, your family. And know that God is your heart. And the wildness will be much more short-lived than we may imagine. nothing wrong with you. You can and will fix anything and everything. The more pure you allow yourself to be, and the less reactive to anything, any subtle force in the world, then that's what will end the madness. You'll see many things, you'll have visions late at night, you'll fight forces and very ugly beings, and you'll love it, because if you don't react at all and give it anything, then you'll see what's behind that being, that presence, that threat. It's a goddamn joy to love God, to allow yourself to be a simplicity. It's more powerful than Oppenheimer would have dreamt. Not Einstein. I'm not making differences between people, I'm simply saying in a vision, in a general statement, because they're both my friends. They're both your friends. All people with a good heart. They are our friends. Lift them, teach them, bless them, care for them, pray for them, protect them with everything of your heart and soul. It's not a physical war. It is a spiritual war. And you win by not contending at all. Look Satan in the eye and he will flee from you. It really is, but the more simple and pure and quiet you become, the easier this war will become. And I pray for you that you understand sooner than later how wonderful you are and the magical part you will play in this great, great, great drama that's unfolding before us. God is God. We win. Through the perseverance of your quiet soul, carrying forth, dragging forth, moving forward, we will win a great war. And this world will not exist. Just the quiet and the purity that streams forth from that will lead us to heavenly vistas. That's what your mom wants for you. Let it be. Thank you. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Destiny. Thank you.